Hello gamers, I'm Nkaziel, and in this video I wanted to talk about Amazon's Game Studio, or AGS for short. Recently, AGS acquired the publishing rights for Blue Protocol and Throne and Liberty, among other games. And you might be wondering what this means for these titles. In this video we are going to take a look at the good and the bad things AGS has done so far and understand what we can expect from them moving forward. Since they are not the developers of these games, I will mostly talk about the work they do as a publisher, and I will only lightly touch on the development side of things. That being said, the publisher often has a very important role, and in many cases the publisher is the one that makes or breaks games. Before we start going down this rabbit hole, I would like to ask you to drop a like and subscribe if you found this video interesting or want to support the channel. I cover a variety of topics related to online gaming in general, so who knows, maybe you'll be interested in other games that I talk about or subjects that I approach. Alright, so for us to determine if AGS is a good publisher, first we need to take a look at what the responsibilities of a publisher are, and discuss what AGS has done in the past and what they are most likely to do again in the future. Localization. This is the first and arguably one of the most important aspects that the publisher is in charge of. Localization has a few layers, the first of which is translating the game to as many languages as possible to allow a broader audience to enjoy the game in their preferred language. This includes all the text in the game and of course the voice lines. AGS has been extremely good when it comes to this. The quality and the work they put in is without a doubt top-notch, and it's some of the best that has been seen in the MMO genre. We can hope that they will continue to do good work in this regard when it comes to future titles. Another aspect that falls under localization is censoring the game for their audience. This is something that most of the player base did not ask for, and in general it is seen in a very negative light. AGS has been known to waste resources on this. If I were to guess, I would say it's probably some political agenda box that they have to tick for some higher up that doesn't know anything about gaming. Anyway, you shouldn't worry too much about censoring, because they are not consistent with it. They will censor a few NPC outfits here and there, and then they will end up selling bikinis in the cash shop anyway. Servers. Another aspect the publisher is in charge of are servers. They are meant to assess how many servers will be needed and provide enough servers for the population of the game. This task can be extremely tricky. Server infrastructure is something that the developers are in charge of, and a lot of developers use outdated server structures that cause a lot of problems on their own. Some MMORPGs use mega server structures like BDO or ESO for example, where intelligent server design is used to mitigate issues in the long run. Sadly, this is not always the case, and developers often fail the player base by choosing outdated server structures, just because they are cheaper and easier to implement, even if they end up creating major problems for the publisher team and for the player base. When it comes to the publishing team at AGS, both of the MMORPGs they published use outdated server structures. So considering this, they done a fairly decent job using what was available to them. When there was a need for new servers, they managed to respond to this problem in record time compared to other MMORPG teams. I am well aware that New World was created by AGS, but it's important to make a distinction between the development team that created a poor server solution and the publishing team that had to deal with it. And given the situation they had been put in, they did a fairly good job. Advertisement. Another important aspect the publisher is in charge of is advertising and making sure the player base is aware of the game. Here is where the fact that they are part of Amazon carries a lot of weight. Amazon owns Twitch, which is the biggest streaming platform in the West. This makes it very easy for AGS to get news of their impending releases out there and get a lot of gamers interested in their products. Because of this, when it comes to advertisement, they score top points, being able to get plenty of gamers to try their new product. Most MMORPGs lose around 90% of their player base within the first few months. Being able to get as many people interested in your product as possible will result in having a healthier player base when things settle down. Community engagement. The publisher will be the one to run various social outlets and forums for the game. This will require dedicated staff that can engage with the player base in a constructive manner. When it comes to the community engagement, AGS scores top points, because unlike most other AAA publishers, they actually engage with the community and most of the time address issues brought up by the community. This does come with some negatives, mainly because if people know they are being heard by the staff in charge of the game, they will complain a lot more about whatever upsets them. This often results in the forums being full of negativity and a lot of abuse directed towards the staff. I think this is a very tough job, even in the best of communities. But more so when a game is popular, and the fact that AGS continues to provide this for the community shows a desire to engage with their communities and a dedication to this community that should be appreciated. Support. Publishers are also in charge of the support aspect of the game. Games will have problems, and online games, especially ones that involve monetary transactions, will require dedicated support staff to help resolve whatever issue might arise. AGS has a great infrastructure for support, fast response time and even live chat, which is not a service that is often provided with most games. Their staff is well trained and they are very pleasant to talk to from my experience. However, this is all inconsequential. Support is not being given any power to actually solve most problems. From what I have seen on various social outlets and from my personal experience, support serves mostly a cosmetic role. They are not given the tools or the permission to actually do anything about the problems people report. So in my opinion, AGS does a very poor job when it comes to support. Despite having set up the infrastructure to have amazing support, they sadly just don't. This is just my point of view. If however you had support actually help you out and solve your problem in any of the AGS games, please let me know. I'm fairly curious to find out if anyone out there had their problems solved. Monetization. This is a bit of a complicated topic because it involves both the developers and the publishers. Developers need to make sure that the game is fun and enjoyable regardless of the monetization involved, while the publishers are often in charge of the box price and the cash shop. So the publishers need to make sure that the way monetization is set up does not negatively impact the enjoyment of the game. I have another dedicated video on this if you want to learn more about the topic. AGS in the past released New World with a box price and absolutely no pay to win, and Lost Ark, which is a free-to-play with pay-to-win elements. Hopefully, this has given them the experience required to not make the same mistakes in the future. What I mean by this is that MMORPGs in the West simply cannot be free-to-play, unless you want to have armies of bots plaguing your game, as we have seen with Lost Ark. Another thing that needs to be done is the pay-to-win elements need to be tuned down and reduced to being pay for convenience. When it comes to AGS, this is a mixed bag, and we cannot say for sure how this will proceed going forward. But I personally prefer to look on the bright side of things and hope for both our enjoyment and the success of these games that AGS decides to make good choices. In conclusion, I believe AGS is one of the best publishers out there, and while they still have many aspects they can improve on, I choose to believe they will do so with time. Hopefully, I will not be proven wrong and we will get to enjoy these upcoming games. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video or want to support the channel, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. See you in the next one, gamers!